Welcome back into episode 52. So in this week's video we're going to be tackling the fuel tank. I need that filter out, clean it up and get it all ultimately back on the car. I've recorded this after the video because there's been some developments while I've been doing it. One of you very kind gentlemen reached out to me and offered me a load of parts, including a complete 4.7S engine, a fuel tank, which is important for this video, and a lot of other bits, which are all buried around my garage now. So thank you very much, Simon, for those. Really appreciate that. And if anyone else has parts you don't want, you think I could use, please just reach out, let me know. You can get me on Instagram, on Facebook Messenger, or you could just message to this video and then we'll work out how to communicate. Anyway, so the fuel tank Simon's given me probably is better than the one I've got. You'll watch this video and see what I do with my one, and then after this video I'm going to be working out whether I should switch over to his fuel tank and just kind of weigh up the pros and cons of doing that. But for now, let's just watch this video. You can see what I do with mine, how I resolve a few very important issues with it, and just get on and enjoy it. Right, I gave the fuel tank a very quick clean down with the power washer. Well, very typically the camera ran out of space, so it stopped filming. I've actually had that out once, but I popped it back in just to show how it comes out. That is the fuel level sender unit. There's a lot of online tutorials about rebuilding this, so I'm not too worried about that. We'll do it, but let's put it out of the way for one moment. Now I can actually sort of drain it out properly. There's also the filter on the other side that I'm going to pop out now. Right, so on the bottom of the fuel tank there's the internal filter here. So using a tip from my friend Sergio, who has a channel called Go For It, thoroughly recommend you check it out. He's also restoring a 1979 928 and we're roughly about the same position apart from his engine is in and runs. Anyway, I'm waffling. So this is a tip I got from him. Put a Jubilee clip around the fitting here and that stops the tank from cracking while I'm undoing, I'm not over tightening it, while I'm undoing the filter. So kind of a bit awkward where I've got this position, but I'll give it a little go to see if it's going to come. Definitely turned, but I suspect it's actually pulled the from the noise I heard. I place money that's the thread inside coming out the metal fitting as well. There she is. Gotcha. Okay, perfect. Alright, now we need to separate the filter from the sleeve. It's quite interesting the amount of dirt inside this filter. You know, just giving it a little tidy out. I've already done it once before I relocated on the bench, but there's a lot of junk inside there. So what I need to do now is separate the filter from this collar and then bond that collar back into the tank. Okay, so I've loosely put it in a clamp. That's my engine sitting there if you wonder what's underneath the blanket. I put the blanket on just to keep it warm at night. So that is quite loose in the clamp, which clearly it's too loose. Let's just do that difficult balancing game of getting it tight enough to hold it, but not tight enough to grip the filter any further. So I've tried pretty much everything now. I'm going to have to replace this filter. They're about 60, 65 pounds, I think. What I'm going to try now is just carefully to warm up the fitting, sort of here, see if we can get it to come out that way. What I'd like to do is retain this fitting and bond it back into the tank. Again, you can get replacements about 150 pounds, I think I saw. But let's just try this and see if it works. I'm pretty much resigned to the fact now that it's I'm going to have to replace both parts, but this is now a labour of love. I need these two apart to prove I can do it. So I went to bed last night thinking this was a lost cause, and out this morning with my two sort of grips, and I've actually managed to turn it, although I've lost my position now because the cat came. There, that's actually turning. So it looks like I'm going to be able to save this coupling, this fitting, whatever you want to call it. Oh. If I can get it to grip again. Right, we're getting there. There's no wonder it wouldn't come out when it was in the tank. That was completely frozen in there, and that's taken everything I can do. You can see the state of the filter head. Right. You can see the state of that to get that out. Although the threads don't look bad, it just seems to get itself bedded in there so tight, and that's the important bit we need. There's only probably 5 or 6 turns of the thread on it anyway. It's crazy. Okay, on the fuel tank then, the next thing is to refit this sort of fitting sleeve back inside there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to thread it through the other side, come in, and it comes in the back because there's a bit of a lip on this that I'm not going to be able to get it over. So I'm going to fit it from behind. I'm going to use some sealant. There's some fuel and heat proof sealant there, just to smear around the edge just to make it good. Then we're going to trim off these little lumps, these that are around there, and put a Jubilee clip to hold it tight, just to grip it all together. So we're going to do that for now. What I'm going to do first is cut off these bits with my Dremel. Right, with the 4 little tabs cut off now, I should be able to fit a Jubilee clip over it. Test it out. I'll probably get a slightly better fitting Jubilee clip, but I'm more just checking that it'll fit snugly onto the pipe. Let's have a look. If the tabs are still there, it can't grip on. It slides away from the it's fitting tight into the tank. Not looking too bad. Not too shabby. Okay, so I think that pretty much confirms I've got all of the tabs off. Good. Now we can start looking at threading the fitting from the other way. So I may just slice that off and that'll make that tidy then. Right, I wanted to film this bit because it might be entertaining. This is my attempt to get the where did I put it? There it is. Right, to get the fitting, which is under here, back through the top and out the bottom here, and basically fitted. You can't see it under there, but it's the you know where the filter goes. my attempt is going to be using a piece of string and a bolt. And I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm basically going to thread it on like that. I'm going to drop the bolt down, straight down the middle, if I can, like that. Now the hole is about here. So I'm going to try and shake it out of the hole, like that. So now I know I can't lose the, where is it, underneath the tank. There. Now I know I can't lose the fitting inside the fuel tank. And then, make sure it's definitely long enough. I'm going to drop it in. It's the correct way round. I'm going to drop it down and try and get it close to the hole and then pull it through with my fingers or pull it up to it. It should work, in theory. In. Right, yep, it's up against it now, so if I just ditch the gloves, I might give you a better camera look. Right, and you should be able to see the fitting there now on the inside of the hole. All I'm going to do with my fingers now is pull it forwards. But before I do that, I want to put some, I've got some high pressure fuel proof sealant I'm going to put around the inside of that hole and then pull the fitting into it, which will hopefully give it a really good seal. Right, I've had to lift it up sort of vertically so I can paint the sealant on. I'm going to just give it a quick... Okay, I've given it a really good coating. I'm sure that'll be adequate. Oh, this stuff's... Okay, we'll get that off later. Let's now try and get the fitting through. Let's try and wobble it around a little bit until it comes up to the entrance, which is there. It's actually quite hard to see exactly what's going on, but I can see it. So it's a good start. Okay, I don't know what it is, but I have a tool. It's got like a little hook on it. So we can use that for yank. So the fitting's just down there. I'm not worrying too much about the red stuff going everywhere. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to get that off later. I'm trying to work out how to pull it up, because it's kind of wedged a little bit and needs to come up a lot more, an awful lot more. Right, we can now wind the fuel filter in now that's had a chance to set. And I've got my Jubilee clip around it. I've not over tightened the Jubilee clip particularly. I'm not going to put this in super tight anyway. Just start it off. And I'm using one of my ratchet spanners to prove I do own them. Which I probably wouldn't use in this case, but I know you guys like to see stuff. Right, and I'm definitely not going to tighten particularly hard at this stage. Probably something like that for the moment. What I'm going to be doing is testing this for pressure anyway. I don't want to over tighten this before this is really set, and I'd like to leave that a couple of weeks probably. I've got the clamp on there so I can tighten up just to really hold it tight. Just remind myself how tight that was. I think it was pretty tight. Okay, I'm not going to force it to ruin the head. Great, I mean that's the filter back in. On the flip side, we'll be putting the sender unit back in, and then the tank, we can start discussing putting that back on the car. This is what I love about doing these videos. One of you guys spotted a little error that I did with the sender unit. So when you look inside here, and I'll flash up a photo of it, the wire has to pass the correct side of these little little pickups. Now I'm just turning around the right way. My eyes aren't that good anymore, so I struggle to see it. So this one is actually incorrect. I've put it around the wrong side. It should go against the V as opposed to on the back of the V. You should be able to see from the picture I flash up, but I'm just swapping it over now. Yep, that one's correct. Just check I didn't roll it over by mistake, which is the sort of thing I would do. And that one's correct. Okay, so that send unit is now complete. Just double checking. Yep, looks good. Okay, brilliant. Thanks for that, guys. And on the other side, we can pop the fuel sender back in. It should just drop in like that. I've got a new O-ring on that. I don't know what orientation that needs to be. I think it was round... let me try and remember. I think it was like... Well, I think the pipe came through here, so it's probably on that orientation. And then the cap just screws on down. Now, it's not pressing in, I think. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Okay, so that's pressed in now nice and tight. And the cap just sort of holds it securely. If I can get it to turn. It's plastic, so I don't really want to cross thread that. It was just fouling on the pipe there. Okay, so that's on. Again, I've not super over tightened it. It's tight enough. And I think that's pretty much the fuel tank done. I've got a couple of breather hoses I need to do, but I have to do those in situ because they pass through the some of the sort of bodywork of the car. And we need to resolve these connectors. I've shined up the one that was corroded, but they do need resolving because the connector sort of disintegrated a little bit. But I've got the part number for that, so we should be okay to do that. It might be that I can repair what I've got and just sort of get that working. But that's cool. Okay, so quite happy with that. Well, I think that wraps up the fuel tank for now. I'm happy that that fuel filter fitting is in there nice and secure again. We'll test whether it's sort of pressure proof at some point, but I'm pretty sure that'll work. The sender unit's back in there, installed nicely, and it's pretty much ready to go back on the car. So in the next video, what I'm going to be looking at is the cradle, because I bought a cradle online, but it turns out it's the wrong one. It's one from a later car which has some other bits, so we need to do a little bit of work on that to get that fitted. And in the background, I'm thinking about the pump, the filter, the accumulator, and all the pipe work that goes in between, because I don't have a great deal of that pipe work. But for now, let's wrap up. And as ever, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, all of those things, and I'll see you next time.